Welcome back, everybody, to more from the Sableyes. We're here today having a look at a very, very interesting deck that has seen play from the Berlin International Championships. Blake and I are looking at Tapu Koko Greninja. How's it going, Blake?
I'm doing well, thanks, Mitch.
That's good. Now, this list was taken to 22nd place by Southeast Asian player Jitmin. Now, this isn't his list 100% for sure. So this list is the list that we've kind of gathered based on watching his stream game and looking through the cards that was played and the commentators' comments and things like that. So we can't say with 100% certainty that this is the list, but we're pretty sure that this is the list.
Yeah, this was done with the blood, sweat, and tears of Science Division to help go frame by frame through the stream and help get every card out of it.
It came down literally to the last card. We were struggling to figure out what the 60th card was, but it ended up being a Shrine of Punishment. Anyway, let's talk through the deck. We're going to start off with the main Pokemon we're going to be using, which is Tapu Koko. Flying Flip to spread damage around. In general, this list is a spread deck. It's just not quite as traditional as usual. Flying Flip is a good attack, put 20 on everything. It also does 40 damage to Zapdos because it's weak to lightning, and it has free retreat, which is good too.
I mean, this card's just been around since it came out, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just such a good card. Anything with high HP that has nothing written at the bottom right is going to get played regardless of its attack. But it has a good attack too for a really splashable energy type.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to see play in it did see play in lots of decks because of it. Flying Flip, you can put it in Zoroark, you can put it in Malamar, and you can put it in its own archetype spread, which is seen before.
Yep. In August.
Bye-bye Tapu Koko. But it's got a new partner in this Greninja from Detective Pikachu. It's like one of the two cards that might see play from Detective Pikachu, and it saw play in the first tournament after it came out.
There's this card and there's a Ditto that's pretty cool as well, but
yeah.
This card's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. So Greninja, obviously evolving up from the Frogadier that has water duplicates, not water duplicates, Gale Shuriken, the Frogadier has...
Living in the past.
Living in the past. Gale Shuriken puts 20 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon so it can accelerate your spread. But Greninja has the attack Furious Shurikens for 2 water attack, does 2 lots of 50 to any of your opponent's Pokemon. So you can do 50 to the active and 50 to the bench, or you can just do 50 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it gives you lots of flexibility and lets you set up some really nice knockouts as well.
Yeah, this is really strong. After just one Flying Flip, as soon as you get Greninja down and ready to attack, you're instantly able to knock out the 70 HP Rockruff, the Poipos,
Jirachis. You can knock out. There's another one as well, Marshadow, that saw a lot of play.
Yep.
So there's heaps of 70 HP bench sitters that Furious Shurikens can really create problems for.
And even more that have less than 70. So there's always that too.
100%, and like it would be a good card on its own with just that attack, but it's got an ability which is really, really cool. We've actually seen it in the past, Blake, in one of our proxy boxing videos. I think it was, is it Whimsicott that has a similar ability where you have to flip a coin to see if there's damage done to it. So if there's damage done to this Greninja, then you flip a coin, and if it's heads, there's no damage done to this Greninja. So, like, I think we actually saw it in Jitmin's stream game that, like, there was a turn where he potentially could have lost, but he flipped heads, and there's no damage. So that seems fine.
Yeah, what's the more curious thing that I find about this ability isn't just the fact that it can prevent damage, but it's the way it prevents damage. So it's the perfect way to prevent damage on a coin flip, because if it did it before, it wouldn't be as good, because there's a lot of effects that are negative. Say, if you declare a GX attack to knock out a Greninja, they flip the GX counter, and then you flip the coin. So if you flip a coin and flip heads after the GX counter has been flipped, that stays flipped.
That's it. They've attacked.
Done no damage.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really, really good, and it's things like Blacephalon has to burn the energy just to try and knock it out.
Lost Zone stays lost.
Exactly. Ultra Necrozma has to discard the energy to maybe knock the Greninja out. So it's really, really cool and yeah, can create some really exciting or disappointing turns depending on which way you flip the coin.
And something that's probably underrated in this game is that it can very easily put your opponent on tilt, which suddenly makes them make misplays.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just good in the game, it's good outside of it as well. We've got a 4-4-3 line of Greninja. There's no Rare Candy in this list, so we're just going to manually evolve up through Frogadier whilst we're Tapu Koko flying, flipping.
Yeah, we really want to put on the pressure with the spread damage and get the effect of that Frogadier.
100%. Now, we've got one copy of Ditto Prism, which can be a 5th Froakie if we need it to be, but it also helps us get into one of the many tech cards that Jitmin was playing, which is the Persian from Team Up with Make 'em Pay. He was obviously very concerned about stall and those kind of archetypes, and Persian's a really, really good way of mitigating some of the advantages that stall gets with those big hand sizes.
Yeah, I mean, when people saw this card, I think people went so far as to declare that Stall was dead just by the existence of this card, because, I mean, as long as this card threatens to be in the format, it completely crushes Stall decks, because they can't win with unknown hands, and if they try to get all their cards up and win a deck out, you can just discard like their 20 card hand down to 4, and then you can play a shuffle supporter or a judge or something like that, and suddenly you're winning in card advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And it means as well that you can really put on the pressure with a copy of Resource Management Oranguru if you're in a situation where you do need to worry about deck out. If your opponent has a big hand size, you can attack once with Persian, and then you can go into Oranguru and just sit there and make it so that you don't deck out and hope that they do first. So Jimmy obviously very worried about the stall archetype, and fair enough, because there was lots of concern about it going in, and he's provided these two options to help him get out of that particular bind.
Certainly the biggest 1-2 punch you could assemble to deal with stall as well. So it's a very effective way of dealing with stall for only two cards. So
Yeah.
I mean, certainly very effective.
Absolutely. Now, there's a few other tech cards in here. We actually have one copy of Jirachi. It's kind of, I was expecting to see more. Like, when I first saw the deck, I was like, oh, it's probably like 2 or 3. But no, it's just one. And it just provides that tiny little bit of extra consistency if you need it. It's one of those weird inclusions that players sometimes put in. It's just like random one-offs here and there. But Jirachi's not a bad one-off to have. And he actually started it on his stream game in one of those games, so he opened Jirachi, his one-of, which is exceptionally powerful. It's probably the only card in the deck that you'd start over a Tapu Koko.
Yeah, and obviously I can definitely see the reason for just playing a single Jirachi, because I mean it's very easily searchable with just a Nest Ball or an Ultra Ball or something like that, and obviously this list also plays Pokecom, so you can get it that way too.
100%.
But obviously, like in this format, there's two different very powerful decks that are running Let Loose Marshadow, which, especially considering how clunky Stage 2 decks can be, and as this one is, if you get Marshadowed to 4 cards, you can very easily draw a dead hand. So having access to a Jirachi to like grab a Lily or something like that off of Stellar Wish, just retreat into it off of your Tapu Koko, which you almost certainly started with, considering we play 4 copies of it. Then yeah, it's very strong and definitely probably warrants the slot.
Warrants the inclusion, yeah, for sure. And it's actually interesting you say that, because I think he did get Marshadowed to 4 one game and struggled to pull out of it. But yeah, it's definitely a good inclusion. That's one of. We've got another consistency one of in Tapu Lele GX. Almost cost Jitmin one of the games against Blacephalon, giving away 2 prizes, but Blacephalon didn't draw the Guzma, so hey, that's fine. Tapu Lele just gives you the option to search out your supporters. There's only 3 supporters in the deck, but we'll talk about them in a minute. Just gives you the extra consistency if you need it.
Certainly the most common one-off in the game, probably.
For sure. Some less common one-offs. We've got one copy of Tapu Lele with Magical Swap. We are spreading lots of damage around, and we're putting lots of pressure on with Furious Shurikens and Frogadier's ability and Coco's attack. Magical Swap gets powered up very quickly, and so it can be a real powerful knockout to win a game that you've been behind almost the whole way.
Yeah, I think there's probably some sort of statistic that you can show that if a deck runs more than 1 copy of Tapu Koko, there's probably like a 90% chance there's also running one copy or more of this card,
Yeah.
because the synergy is obviously tremendous. But in any spread deck, this card instantly converts all the pressure you've been subtly applying throughout the game into actual results. So.
Into big knockouts, and it's actually quite interesting. Just talking about rotation, this Tapu Lele I think survives, whereas the psychic one with the same attack doesn't, because the promo number disappears. So that's
the promo,
fun
the
fact.
promo which we were waiting for a good 6 to 8 months disappears, but the one that was reprinted in Celestial Storm under a different typing, we managed to keep.
Yep, we keep it forever. So there you go.
More importantly, though, we lose counter energy, so it will be very difficult to use in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. One last Pokemon. We have Larvitar, second strike, 10 plus 70 if your opponent's active, already has 3 more damage counters on it. You're playing spread, so they probably have 3 damage counters on it. And when there's 3 damage counters on a Zoroark, 10 plus 70, 80, 160 is very easy to get yourself into that knockout range to take 2 prizes just for a little baby Larvitar.
Especially when you take Shrine of Punishment and other such modifiers into account as well.
Yeah, 100%. So that's our Pokemon line. We'll run through the supporters, and the supporters are quite thin. There's 4 copies of Lily, obviously our turn 1 support. We want to get this as early as we can. We have 3 copies of Cynthia, which I wasn't certain about, but I think it is 3 copies in Jitmin's list. And only 2 Guzma, so very, very thin on the supporter line.
I'm not surprised to see only 2 Guzma in a spread list. Lower counts seem to make more sense because you don't really need to target anything in particular. Just as long as it doesn't wall or threaten your Pokemon, I think you're happy to just be hitting whatever it is in the active because everything's being affected.
Yep, 100%.
So that doesn't surprise me. It's very hard to find other supporters to run in spread lists, to be honest. That's why usually you'd see other forms of draw support like Zeb Striker and stuff like that in these lists to help them go through their deck, because not many other supporters tend to work so well in these decks.
Yeah, and I mean, after you've thrown some of those supporters away, you can always get them back with the one-off copy of Power Pad, which lets you get those draw supporters back in, or that Guzma if you desperately need it. Going into the Pokemon Surge, there are 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Not so many. We think, yeah, we think. I'm fairly sure there's only 3. This was one that I really checked really hard, because you'd think there would be 4, but I just couldn't find the 4th one. It could be there, I don't know, but I'm going with 3 here. 3 copies of Ultra Ball to search out things like Frogadier, Lele, Greninja, but most other things can be searched out through Nest Ball putting those basics onto the bench, and seeing as we've only got 1 Pokemon that really is desperate to be put on from your hand in Tapu Lele, Nest Ball is a pretty good card.
Yeah, typically I think you would assume that when you're including Ultra Ball, you typically go straight to 4 Ultra Ball. But having known Jitmin for a few years now, I can say that when this man builds lists, he is certainly nothing except, he's out of the ordinary when it comes to his list building. He's made some exceptionally weird lists in his past, and simply excluding 1 Ultra Ball from his list is probably one of the tamer things he's done when building it.
It's not ridiculous. And he's got 3 copies of Pokecoms as well, so all these Pokemon that he's got in his deck, he can just trade them away for a different Pokemon if he needs them. Like, Resource Management Oranguru, you don't need in most matchups, so just Pokecoms that away. Get yourself something that you do need. So, I mean, 6 search cards for stage 1 and 2s isn't that's not a crazy amount. It's reasonably common.
Good. Yeah.
We also have 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. We're super keen to make sure that we are always attacking with Tapu Koko or getting those Frogadiers and Greninjas out. So putting Pokemon back in the deck is always a good idea. Plus we also have the option to put one into our hand if we need to. 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher seems pretty good. And we also have 2 copies of Choice Band to do 30 extra damage to GXs if you're desperate. As we saw, you can do 160 to a Blacephalon with a Choice Band if attacking with Greninja, which is really, really good.
There's a 1 flying flip away from a knockout, which can set up a way to skip B-String turn.
100%. Or you can kill it with a Frogadier next turn. And you've got 2 copies of Escape Board. Pretty much every Pokemon in this deck has 1 retreat. apart from Tapu Koko. So a skateboard you'd think is there because of the Jirachi. It's actually because, apart from like a Rangaroo, all of these Pokemon just have 1 retreat cost. So making all these 1 retreat costs into 3 retreat costs is pretty good.
But you don't really mind if the Oranguru's got the 2 retreat costs because, I mean, if you found yourself in a position where benching Oranguru is the best choice, it's typically being used in the active anyway, so you're not trying to retreat it into something else.
Yeah, 100%. We also have 3 copies of Shrine of Punishment, and there's definitely 3 because, again, it took me 10 minutes to figure out how many copies of this card there were, and there's definitely 3, we think. So this is our stadium of choice again.
Without a shadow of a doubt, there's definitely 3, probably.
Maybe. Stadium of choice to put 1 damage counter on between turns. All those Pokemon GX that are on our opponent's board. It's obviously really, really good to get those ticks going, and puts on a lot of subtle pressure.
Especially
really
against,
good
especially important against like the new tag teams coming out. So with their tremendously high HP, you're going to need Shrine of Punishment down and ticking for at least a couple turns so that you can will them down to the point where you can knock them out.
Yeah.
Especially for Pikarom, you're going to need even more work than you usually would to knock it out with a Larvitar. You need a little bit more help to get it to that point. Probably need a Choice Band too, just to even get there, because it has a tremendous 240 HP.
It certainly does. Also, we have 1 copy of Energy Lotto. This was a missing card for me for a while. We couldn't find it. It was probably like the 57th card that we found. 1 copy of Energy Lotto means that instead of playing 8, you are essentially playing 9. You have to get pretty unlucky to not get the energy in the top 7 cards, but you know, it happens. It's just a little bit of extra kind of consistency to make sure that you can get into the energy when you need to.
Yeah, if your deck's only running special energy, odds are you're running an Energy Lotto because it's the only card that helps you find special energy outside of a draw supporter.
100%. We've got 2 copies. 4 copies of double colorless energy. We want to be using these to attack with Tapu Koko. We can also use them to attack with Lele if we have to, and also Oranguru and Persian and Larvitar. So pretty much everything.
It's really important that we find this this straight away, because before we go down on prizes, we need to be applying pressure, and this is what we have to go to, because before we go down in prizes, counter energy only provides 1 energy to Tapu Koko, so finding the DC early is very important.
It is, and counter energy we kind of want to save a little bit as well, because Greninja can only attack with counter energy, so we want to make sure that we're saving at least 1 or 2 for those Greninjas in the end game. Most of the time though, counter energy is still a viable option for your Tapu Koko if you desperately need to. So yeah, that's our list.
And that does it.
We think this is Chitmin's list, but we could be completely wrong. He could have played 60 completely different cards, but I doubt it. I doubt 60 of them are different.
This makes him come out and challenge us, saying, "Ha, it's wrong. It's actually the 60 cards."
I have 59 cards different.
Yeah, we'll happily be wrong to get the actual list, which did really well. So
yeah. So here we go. We're going into a game here. And we've got a nice average start. We've got lots of Froakies that we can sack though, which is good.
We've got no draw supporters and no Tapu Kokos to apply pressure. Well, we're living on the top deck here.
This could be a very quick one. Oh look, there's a Tapu Koko.
That's a good card. We should run that.
I reckon if we play 4 of those, we'll be pretty good.
Yeah, if only we ran 4.
If only.
I hope we get let loose.
I hope so too.
Judged.
That would be great. Can you imagine that? Just getting let loose into a Lillian.
Is he playing Persimmon?
I don't know. It could be Persimmon. It could also be like some mystery spread. There's Energy Lotto. Maybe it is Persimmon.
Well, it's a DCE.
That is a DCE. I regret putting all these Pokemon down now. That Ditto's in trouble.
Against other spreads.
Well, in theory, it's better because you can accelerate your spread around, especially if you're trying to mitigate.
7 coins every time they clear an attack.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the end of their turn, so they're not doing too hot either.
Well, neither are we.
That's exactly what I was wanting, is another DCE.
Another DCE. I think
it's a hot pass right there.
I reckon we just pass. I'm just like considering, is there anything to do?
Pressure here with the pass, and then we threaten. It's like, we're actually holding rare candy for our Greninja GX.
Yeah, you moron. Ha 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 ha, tricked ya.
We've also got the evolution into a Zeb Striker or something, which we're definitely playing. Oh, he's found a draw supporter. We're in some trouble. Oh, there's a
Oh,
Larvitar.
Larvitar.
Don't really know why he benched that one.
Looks
But,
like we're playing spread. Oh, I should have put my shrine down before he put his down.
Yeah, it's a good point. Oh, there's an Electropower. This is not the same deck.
There's
Oh,
two Electropower. That's a knocked out Froakie. We're in trouble now.
Sure, yep.
We very easily could be going to a second game here.
Yep. Yep, we'll just take him in game 2. Beat him there.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I think this might be the Lightning Persimmon box.
I reckon you might be right. Like, I mean, we haven't seen Persimmon yet, but all signs pointing to it.
We've got Froakies down, so I probably wouldn't bench Persimmons either. So this is a dead Froakie, and it's going to be a dead Ditto pretty soon, so I'd probably promote the Ditto.
I reckon you might be right.
Because that way we don't die to electric power. And we found a Larvitar. I don't think we bench it, because I think if we get Guzman, we're probably going to lose anyway.
Alright, yep, cool, no worries. I'll just pass. This deck came 27th. What a fun time. I guess bricking can't be helped.
All decks can dead draw, so...
We got one more turn. We got one more turn here.
Now we're cooking.
Alright, looks like we're going to game 2. We'll just concede that one straight away.
Cut that from the video.
Yeah, exactly. No one saw it. Alright, we're going into our first game here with Tapu Koko Greninja.
Can't wait to see what this deck can do. I have high hopes for this deck.
Yep, I can't see it having a bad opener with so many Tapu Koko.
Yep, 4 Cocos and a Jirachi. There's no way for this to go wrong.
Well, we're being punished for conceding here. We're taking a long time to look for an opponent.
Yep, turns out he was the only person playing the game at the moment.
Yep, so here we go.
It's him again.
No. That's nice.
Could you imagine?
Something metal and psychic. So
metal and psychic, Malamar.
So we could be playing some Malamar here. Oh, hello. Hello. Yes, I would like to go first.
Maybe they're fans of the channel, even though this doesn't even represent our channel.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
They're the 2 worst cards to open with.
I feel like I should start Lele. Because a Rangaroo is a bad start.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to retreat. Yeah.
That's a really bad.
It is a really bad.
Well, that is a really bad.
So we can Nest Ball for a Coco.
Yep.
And then we can Ultra Ball away the Oranguru and whatever our top deck is, not that, Stretcher.
No, I reckon the Stretcher.
Yep.
Let's get ourselves a Coco.
And then we get our Froakie boy. Oh, this is Magnezone.
This is going to be very interesting.
It's quite annoying,
some
because that Magnemite has an ability which blocks
bench damage. No.
I think we're gonna hold on to the shrine here because they will play Mount Coronet. So, do we have a supporter in hand? No. So let's go for the Jirachi.
Let's do that. You're a smart boy.
And retreat into that.
I reckon that you're a smart boy.
And not only that, but we've also the only one with the GX in play so far. So I think that is probably a bad idea. Probably an Ultra Ball?
I reckon the Ultra Ball's feeling pretty good. I might grab that.
That way we can guarantee a Frogadier and then start threatening that Greninja in the future. Probably just pass.
I reckon that's it, yeah. We're awake, which is a positive.
We're also not dead drawing, so there's
yes, that's true. And they just played down a Tapu Lele, so
what a sucker!
We've got a chance. We've got a chance.
We're alive.
He's going to play down
we can only find a DCE, and then suddenly we'll be playing the game.
We certainly will.
It always goes well for us when we try and test out these really good decks from really good players online.
Yeah, that's true.
We always get to show off the full power of the deck, and what the hell is that card?
Against meta as well, we get to play against the top tier.
Yeah, we always play
opponents.
against decks that we see in the format as well.
Yep, Ferroseed. I've been seeing lots of random stuff recently. Like we had, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee. Like I feel like maybe I've. What is going on, Cobalion?
I can't help but feel this dude might be trying to complete a challenge for metal types.
I reckon you might be right. I reckon you might be right.
Play down every different metal type that's currently in rotation. Let's see it. Let's see it. The 4th different metal type. Let's go.
It's a Jirachi.
We did it.
We're there.
Only 4? That's an
Only
insult.
4?
Show me 5.
What
Show me
a
5
pain.
different metal types.
Well, here's the thing. I'm super. What is dashing pouch?
Dashing
What is
Pouch!
going on?
You get the energy back when you manually retreat with that card.
Oh,
Oh,
my
just a
goodness.
second Ferrothorn.
Well, that's
Oh,
good because
God.
solid unit only works on the bench, so we are living the dream.
Oh, we got a Pokecom.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna Pokecom this Greninja away.
yeah. So now we can get ourselves a Froakie.
A Froggy, you
Frogadier?
reckon?
No, I misspoke. I meant Frogadier.
Jeez, I was about to say.
Now, what on earth does that ability on the Cabalion do? Does that just interact with Dark types? I can't recall.
Each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached to it can't be affected by special conditions.
Yeah, okay, cool. That has nothing to do with us.
Yep.
We're not doing any of that.
Not irrelevant. So I'm going to put my 20 damage. I reckon I might put it... I don't know how much Ferrothorn has. Let's just put it on this Cabalion.
Yeah, I think the Cabalion's fine. I think, should we Ultra Ball before Jirachi? No. We're gonna need that Energy Lotto, because we still don't have a DCE yet.
Yeah. And at least if we get a DCE, we can potentially attack...
We're probably gonna play Guzma this turn.
Yeah. I'm
we
gonna go
find
for
an-
the energy. I'm gonna go for the energy. Oh, cool, we got 2 counters.
Oh my god. This deck's not applying any pressure on the opposite side, so we're not threatening attacks anytime soon. I think we just gotta... Nah, we're not gonna play Guzma. I think we might just slap the Shrine down.
You reckon?
They've got twice as many GXs
Yeah, that's
as
fair.
us, so
That's
they're
fair.
taking twice as much damage. And I feel like if they start taking damage, they'll probably miss the stage. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
we're at threat here.
We're in a reasonable position in the sense that we can maybe take a knockout. Alright, what does this Ferrothorn do? Oh, this is the Thorn Pod Throw thing. Does 20 times the amount of metal attached to this Pokemon to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Can't do more than 100 damage.
So it's spread.
So it does 80 and then 100. Yep.
It's got spear on it.
Cool.
Basically. Oh, we evolved out of the solid unit, so now we can hit everything on the bench. That's cool.
we're in real big trouble here.
As long as he's not attacking. I mean, he's asleep and he can't retreat. So
Yep, that's true. Well, we're good to go.
That's not. I think we might, perhaps, should start attaching energy, even if it's not the one we want.
Yeah, we're
I
at
think
that
we. I
point,
think we got
aren't
a. I think we got a nest ball for another Froakie.
Yeah, I just wish that we could.
Do anything.
Yeah, literally anything would be great right now. That's okay. It's gonna be fine.
So I think we just attach the counter energy.
Yeah,
and
to the Coco
pass.
and then pass, and hopefully knock something out.
Yep, because I mean, if he kills the Jirachi, then we're suddenly doing stuff. So we actually probably want him to get the retreat and take a knockout this turn. And then we've got the Frogadier, and then we've got a Flying Flip, and then Bob's your uncle.
Yep.
Dex flying.
Exactly. Then we're doing things. How much HP
Or
does this
even,
Ferrothorn have? 120. Okay.
We can even Ultra Ball and go into the Greninja and start doing 50 to everything, which is probably better.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that.
Although I have a feeling that if he evolves this Ferrothorn, we might be moments away from winning the game because he's conceded because he has completed his challenge for evolving metal types.
Yeah, that's potentially true.
Oh, that's what he's doing. That's cute. He's using the special ability from Cabalion to negate Jirachi's sleep, and then he gets the metal energy back when he retreats with Dashing Pouch. That's cute.
That is
But
interesting.
also, you could just play Escape.
Yeah, you could just play a skateboard, couldn't you?
That way you don't need 7 different cards, one of which gets shut down by a Alolan Muck.
Oh well.
It is cute though.
It is cute.
So, this thing's gonna die.
Yep. And I reckon...
He's probably gonna... Can he kill the Froakie? Yes, he can.
Yeah.
We can also kill the
He can kill the Frogadier too.
Frogadier, yeah.
Which he chooses to do. Now, I kind of feel like it might
We
be
need
just...
the Guzma here.
Yeah, it might just be worth Guzmering up something like this Magnezone or even this other Ferrothorn.
Yeah, I think we Guzma up the other Ferrothorn, then he has to find a whole
ton of energy.
weight of energy to...
Alright, let's just do the Guzma now. Boop. And we're getting full value out of our Tapu Koko flips here.
Yep, and then we can...
Where's it
evolve.
relevant? Where's it relevant?
I think we just want to level it out, so we'll probably just put it on the Magnezone.
Yeah, that's fair.
just to even out the HP totals, because they're going to be ticking with Shrine.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll just do a bit of a flip and see how we go.
Now, obviously, if he has a way to retreat, or Guzma are in a bit of trouble here, because he's going to be applying a lot of pressure really quickly.
Yep.
Interesting choice. I would have gone for Tapu Lele and then killed the
He can
Froggy.
retreat for free.
Yeah.
He just wants the Jirachi in, man. He doesn't care who he kills.
Oh, it didn't matter what he promoted. I just think that if he chose the Lele, he would have killed us going into our next turn with Shrine of Punishment. Then he would have also killed this Frogadier. No, he's even getting rid of the Shrine.
There you go.
How many energies do you have in the discard pile? Did you have any?
Do I have? What does
No,
he have? What am I talking about? Why would I have any? He has one.
So he has... Well, it doesn't matter, because he's promoting this, so...
Yeah. Alright, well, we're again in a position
if he's
where
got 2 energy, he can kill both of our Pokemon and leave us with just the Tapu Lele, which is quite troublesome.
Well, no, he can only do 100 to a benched Pokemon, so he can't knock out
okay.
either of these guys down here. He can take the Frogadier, but he can't take our Freedom.
Can take his prize cards.
Oh, he'll take prize card. Yeah, yeah, he definitely will. It's not even a contest. He will.
Man, this is really it's a good thing Jitmin didn't pair this in Swiss.
Yeah, well, because this is something else.
Apparently, this is a really bad matchup.
Where does he put the 100? Surely he puts it on the...
He's only doing 80.
He is only doing 80. That's okay. We're still going here. We're still fine. But it's going to flip again. Ooh, that's interesting.
Probably need to shuffle in a whole bunch of Frogadiers and Brokies.
Yeah, probably. My question is how much damage have we got on the board? Not a lot.
Oh, actually, yeah, we might need to, let's see. There's a bunch on there, the GXs. Is there enough to kill both Ferrothors?
That's the number, right? So we can go...
How much HP do they have?
They've got 120 each. I'm going to use...
Declare the
stretcher.
The stretcher, yep.
Shuffle in. I'm going to go bang, bang, bang.
Yep, and then we'll...
So 2, 4, 6, 100, 190, 260. So we can potentially go like this.
They've got 120, so we have 20 spare. Oh. And then we can still stay ahead on prizes too.
Which is beautiful, getting rid of both of their attackers.
And their threats.
Alright, now Blake, you're going to need to entertain the people at home whilst I click 1,000,000 times on Magical Swap.
Alright, Magical Swap.
I said entertain them, not sit there quietly.
Alright, so... we're still in a bit of trouble here, because, I mean, I can't remember how much attack this Cobalion GX does, but if it can take a knockout here...
Does 110. So, yep.
If what? What's the condition?
If there's a stadium.
Oh, it does 110. That's troublesome.
I mean, we're weak to metal anyway, so...
Yeah, but it was only doing 50 base, so we were going to take 1 hit, so hopefully he, like, field blowers himself or something. All I can say is I'm really glad we had that Shrine of Punishment down ticking the whole time. Otherwise,
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't possible.
There's 1. We've done 1. Okay, here we go.
There's the big guy. I really wish we had the shrine. If we had the shrine to go with too.
That would be nice.
And that way, we wouldn't have to worry about.
Tick.
Yeah, this is a painful process. I wish they made a. It's awful.
Hey, it's top quality content though. I'm sure everyone's enjoying it.
This is how you have to do it in real life too. Just so
yeah,
you know.
1 at a time. You have to move them all manually, 1 at a time.
You count down. You take the dice, put it from 6 down to 5, and then you put 1 on the opponent. Tick it from 5 down to 4. You can't do it all at once. That would be.
Oh, that would be rude. You don't do that.
That'd be bad. I think we'd take the last one and put it on the Lele.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, just to make those nice round numbers.
Spread it. That way it's not like 1 hit card away. And
Done.
Done.
What are you going to do now that you got no Ferrothorns? Probably.
Oh, look, there's a DCE. It's starting to make sense now. Also, a draw supporter, please. Thank you.
Just Tapu Koko.
Another Tapu Koko is fine though. That way, if it takes the knockout, then because this has steel resistance, so a Tapu Koko, a fresh one, can take one hit from his.
Yes, that's true. It can.
Kind of hoping we just draw one of those Guzmas though, so we can bring up this Magnezone and strand it.
Yeah, that would be great. Or getting rid of the Mount Coronet would also be a big deal.
Yeah, because we just got rid of a whole bunch of metal energy, so getting it back of like the next 4 turns is going to be pretty annoying. It's a shame we're under so much pressure, because otherwise we could have just killed the Magnezone, but
yeah,
there wasn't quite enough damage to be able to kill that and just one Ferrothorn and have it be fine.
This has been a really interesting game. Really interesting. I mean, not fun, but...
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
The important thing here is that he just attached... Oh, he's plugged a Magnezone. Doesn't matter. I'm not paying attention.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
It's fine.
Oh, boy. Here's the Stellar Wish. We're part of the way there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. Hopefully he just uses it and doesn't think. Don't think. Just play it. Just play it. Just play Energy Recycler.
I mean, it doesn't matter. He's gonna have enough energy.
He just played it. Oh, what an idiot.
He's gonna have enough energy anyway.
He could have had 2 in hand, but instead he's only gonna have 1. What a moron. Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's just gonna retreat with Dashing Pouch, and then he's gonna have 2 in hand anyway.
Yeah. Okay, what are we doing here?
I do wonder if he's gonna attack with Valley.
He might.
Interesting choice.
Here it is. Here it comes. And yes, we can stick up this fresh Tapu Koko into the active next turn, and just maybe
we really
take
need
another
to draw
turn.
Supporter here.
Draw supporter.
We need
some mortar.
A Lily or a Cynthia here to ease our worries.
It's gonna be fine.
But we're completely out of Frogadiers now, so Greninja's not coming out. Really,
we're not completely out. We've got 2 more.
Oh, I mean, but they're not on the board.
Oh yeah, no, well. Oh, cool, a Persian. That's handy.
A Persian. Alright.
Well, I'm just gonna retreat into this Tapu Koko, and everything apart from that Magnemite's gonna take 20. So
can't see him drawing a Guzma here and killing this Tapu Koko, a Tapu Lele. That'll just be impossible.
It's unlikely, isn't it?
Really unlikely.
Oh yeah, incredibly unlikely.
That's an odd card.
Sure. What does it even do? Search your deck for a metal Pokemon. Put it in your hand. Okay. If you go first?
If you go second, then it's your first turn. You can search 5.
Oh, here comes Ferrothorn again.
Oh, he's going for this bloody thing again.
Ugh. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. There's no way he has 3 metal energy. It's not like he just shuffled 5 in and has 2 in hand. Oh, there's 1. Alright, here we go.
Oh, it's a dead Koko.
That is. But, on the plus side...
Kinda hoping he wouldn't take a prize card that turn.
But on the plus side, we drew a Froakie, so that's a positive.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's it. That's the game.
That's the game. Well...
But the important thing is we tried really hard.
We did. We gave it our very best.
Doesn't exist in any tournament ever, and just got a bad matchup against this one. So.
Yeah, that's the way that these decks often run, is that they have random bad matchups that you'd never expect to see. But hey, it's a cool list regardless. And if you want to see the deck actually played well, then go and have a look at the Twitch stream or on YouTube to go and have a look at Jitmin actually playing, because when he plays against Blacephalon, it's a really, really exciting matchup. Yeah, that's the list, or that's our list.
And if you want to see more of the Ferrothorn Magnezone list, then you should subscribe to that guy, because he's apparently a god.
Yeah, he's just a Ferrothorn Magnezone machine. But hey, anyway, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. We all had fun, and we got to share what we think is the list anyway. So if you are interested in the content, then please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. You can hit the little Sableye in the middle of the screen. You can go to the left-hand side to view a video that YouTube thinks that you might like, and on the right-hand side is our team-up playlist, which I'm sure you'll all enjoy, considering we're moving into Unbroken Bonds. Thanks very much, Blake.
No worries.
And we'll see you all next time for more from the Sableyes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.